So, this is a different kind of vlog. Well, I guess in a way it's the same thing. I'm still talking about something, but I've had this one in my mind for about 2 months that I've been thinking about doing it. I don't know if there's going to be a little pause because someone texted me and the video froze, but there's been something that's coming, and by the time this video is up, it will be the day of. But last year on August 6th, 2015, one of my friends that I've known for a really, really long time killed himself. And I didn't get to say goodbye, didn't get to go to the funeral, none of that, not because I didn't want to, but it was his family's wishes for no one to go, or none of his friends to go. And I admit that when I heard that, it pissed me off so fucking bad. And even, I think, months and months, maybe at least 6 months, I did not know where they, well, because he was cremated, and I figured that they would keep the body or the ashes, but I guess that they buried them, and I didn't know where. And not until 6 months did I learn where he's at. And I still haven't gone. I'm not ready at all. So, right now, as of recording this, it's Sunday, the 31st, 30th. I have no idea how many days are in July, but I've been wanting to do this video as sort of as a remembrance, or I guess in a way of me saying goodbye, because I never got to. But I'll probably record this in sections. But my friend Miguel, I met in middle school at Henshaw, and I was trying to figure it out right before I started recording, but I'm pretty sure it's so confusing because he's a year older than me, but I know that he got held back a year, but I don't remember when exactly, because if he got held back a year, he would have been in my grade. But he was the same graduating class as my wife, 2005, so I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. But I remember I met him, like I met a lot of my other friends through other people, and he was just there, weird haircut, but he was there hanging out with the person he knew, and then eventually we just started talking, and then just eventually we just started hanging out. Um, and he was like any other guy. Um, he's Mexican. He's Catholic. I don't believe that he was very religious, but I know it, like my family, his is very religious. Well, I guess my family's not really that religious to begin with, but they're those typical religious Mexican parents. Um, but yeah, surprisingly, we hit it off, started hanging out more, and I guess that's where I will lead into my first story. Alright, so one of the first stories, which I have written down because I knew that I'd just be all over the place if I didn't. But, he introduced me a lot to, he introduced me to a lot of different music that I probably would never listen to. Or, like, stuff I did listen to, but artists I didn't know of. So I remember, what were some of the ones? I remember Kitty was one of them that I'd never even heard of. And I remember there was a commercial and he was like, oh, this band's hell sick. And I remember we went and we bought the CD. And it was really good, and now I have all their CDs. Another one was DJ Irene. I'd never heard of her. And he had the Club Series CD with DJ Irene and Lauren B. And it was so fucking good. Her mixes were really good. He and then just like a lot of other things. I think even the style in which I used to dress, like leading into high school, was influenced by him because I just normal clothes, I guess. And not until I met him, was I really wearing band shirts. I was wearing like bracelets. I had these rings and this thing that like went over your finger, so it made it look like you had like a metal claw as a finger. I used to wear chokers, remember beanies, stuff like that, the little wristbands or like the sweat wristbands, stuff like that I never wore before, and I did because of him. I remember, I didn't write that, but I remember once we were at the mall and I was looking to buy one, and I was like, oh, and like at Hot Topic they'd have like a bunch of them, and then they'd have that one security thing wrapped around all of them. There was one that was free, because I was like, I don't want to have to call them over here to see if they're gonna fit or not, blah blah blah. And there was one that just happened to be by itself, no security tag on it at all. So I was like, I guess I'll try and see if it fits. So I was like, oh, okay. So I took the whole thing up there, and I was like, I want to get one. And I I pay for it. We're leaving, walking away from Hot Topic, and I'm just like, whatever. And I was just like, man, I was like, we should have each got one. I'm like, they weren't really that expensive. And he's like, oh, I got one. And I was like, really? I was like, I didn't see you pay for it. This guy fucking stole it while I was busy over there paying for it. I was like, I remember being scared that we were gonna get in trouble. Um, and then let's see, movies. He we both like scary movies, and I think he liked them a little more than I did. But he introduced me to a bunch of ones that I've never heard of, and I really cannot remember a bunch of them off the top of my head. But I remember that we fucking love the Scream series. We, just your like generic ones. That, Child's Play, stuff like that. Speaking of Child's Play, I remember at Hot Topic or Spencer's, I forgot which one, they used to sell these big, like, not, well, I guess life size, like in the movie, dolls of Chucky and Tiffany. They looked hella fucking sick. I remember I wanted them, he wanted them, but never got them, and I don't know, they probably cost a lot now. Another one, or one that he would talk about all the time. I remember he bought it and he brought it to my house and we watched it, and it was fucking amazing. And it's called Night of the Demons, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but it was so fucking good. I think there was two of them, and we watched both. So fucking good. I'm trying to remember what else we'd watched, but because of him, with horror movies, I tend to branch out a lot more than I necessarily would. Where I would watch like I don't know if you necessarily call them blockbusters, but like if I would watch, just the Friday 13 something, I go and I look for other ones, and like eventually that led me down, not just him, but on top of a YouTuber that I follow. He also loves horror movies, and I think that's what drew me towards him, because I already watched him because of his other series, and then this was him not doing that character but him himself. And then just, I think a combination of both of them, the YouTuber more recently though, has brought me like into this vast array of different horror movies, because now I have like classic horror movies that people just probably wouldn't bother watching or anything like that. Even like on Netflix, I watch stuff like all those B-movie stuff. I would have never known that I love those kind of movies. Then before I get more away from this topic, pen doesn't even work. Yeah, I'm using a selfie stick to record myself because I'm tired of putting my hand in the way all the time. But one time we went to the mall, and if you live in Modesto, you know the layout of the mall. We were walking from, because I forgot how we got there, but we were walking towards Sears from where Circuit City and the old Vintage Theater used to be, which is now just Dick's. We're walking that way, or was it no, I'm pretty sure we were walking towards Sears. Yeah, we were. Towards the shoe department entrance. We were walking, and all of a sudden this fucking crazy bitch in this huge ass fucking truck. I'm right here and he's right here, and we're just like walking like along the side. We're not even in the middle of the road, nothing. And this bitch hella just pulls up in front of Miguel, like literally like right there. Like she could have hit him with her side view mirror. And she says, "Oh, she yells something at him or us, I guess. And she said something about hit, and I was like, what? So like we're looking at each other like, what did she say? And he's like, what? Like, do we want to hit? And he was like, he looked at me like, what? Do we want to hit? And he's like, do we want to hit? And I fucking started dying. And she fucking got so pissed off, she just fucking peeled out and took off. And it wasn't until then was I like, oh, she probably said, do you want to get hit? But the thing is, we were not in the fucking middle of the road. I have no idea what the hell her problem was. But, that was funny. That was, I have no idea. I will never forget that. That's fucking.